Hey, I see a Harley.
Yay!
Mon ami.
Turn that down a little bit. 1 second.
Okay. Was that like a legit hold on a second, or was that like...
Oh no, that's good.
Okay. Because we're going to start Chrono Crossing. Yay!
Never Chrono Cross streams.
Press any button. I
I just
pressed
realized
L2.
how weird that demo screen was, where it's showing Surge, Kid, and Glenn running through the Hydra March.
Which is completely impossible.
I mean, it's not impossible, it's just not possible until a New Game Plus.
No, technically true, yes.
Like, that's an extremely weird thing to just put in the demo.
I feel like Glenn was like... You were led to believe that he would be a member of the party guaranteed, even though that is not what actually happens.
Yeah, I think he was supposed to, like, he's one of those characters that was probably, in some draft of the script, more important than he is.
I
Considering
mean,
he
it
got
would
one of
make
the
sense.
few dual techs.
Yeah, one of the few dual techs, he has, like, an actual story that's going on in the background.
Background, nothing. I mean, like, kind of foreground in some places. Like, he's
Yeah,
ultimately tied to all kinds of, like, important stuff.
yeah.
And, like, he's got, like, character-specific, character-specific, equipment.
Yeah, he gets a legendary sword in 2 different dimensions.
Hang on.
Also, I will never, ever thank Courtship for anything.
Hey,
Obi.
hey, Jeannie. Hey, fanboy. Hey,
Good
Goggle
day and
Bob.
welcome.
Hate him so much.
Who do we hate? Because I think I
Portia.
know.
He does not
Yes.
have enough pants.
Forgot that it takes her this long to realize she's been poisoned.
I really appreciate that they knock you out, or Surge, have you wait, and then get up, and then she's got poison.
Yeah.
That's classic JRPG right there. That's exactly the kind of nonsense that we as a society have come to expect.
I would like to point out that this doctor will never get another name than Doc, even though he can join the party.
Wait, so you can't rename him? That's kind of odd.
I mean, canonically.
Oh, okay.
We hunted hydras to extinction to make medicine out of them. I would have assumed people would kill hydras for the sake of, oh god, they're hydras.
Yeah, I
I think we
mean,
needed a better reason.
that's usually the driving motivation, but I guess, guess they do
We
things
actually
different.
had something like a reason this time.
Also, like, it seems like a bad idea to hunt them to extinction for medicine, because if you haven't healed everybody and, like, it's a contagion, you're gonna, like, they should have left a few of them alive, if they're...
I mean, that's true, but I would also say that, like, people are not great long-term thinkers, so, like, that is not the kind of inconsistency I'm going to say, oh, wow, that happened.
Good point. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Like, there's a lot of narrative sins in this game without inventing new ones.
Yeah, no, I'm on board.
Your third-party member always, just regardless of who they are, has to suggest, well, nothing we can do.
Whoever that poor soul may be.
And that happens a lot, and it's part of why no one in this game has a personality, because, like, in the rare situations where the second or third party member is going to pipe up, they just have to, like, express a specific opinion.
See, that's actually kind of a real bummer. Like, there have to be, like, I don't know. Okay. I'm trying to remember if there were any parts in Final Fantasy VII as my go-to for some reason, where just somebody who's not in the party just sort of pops in to say something in character for them because they weren't in the party right now, but they need to say something. I'm sure it happens a bunch of times.
Usually the game
Six
structures
does
it. Usually the game structures it such that if like a character needs to come in to say something, that it's because the entire party has gathered together to say things.
Okay.
I was about to say Final Fantasy VII finds all sorts of excuses to make it seem like basically your whole party
You're
is
traveling as two
together
groups.
all the time, except when you're distinctly doing like dungeons and traveling, in which case the other part of the party is like just a little bit behind you.
Yeah, they're traveling slightly as differently as two groups.
Yeah, but you all wind up at Cosmo Canyon at the same time.
All right, that makes sense. They're just, a little bit behind. They fell behind a little bit, but they'll catch up.
You're the advanced team. They're the reserve team.
Yep.
Just wanted to say I appreciate Harley taking the shit out of Portia there.
Chicken
Yeah,
Hawk.
that's well beloved.
I mean, like, somebody's got to tell Korcha they're full of shit. Somebody.
Because Korcha is full of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, she just has this. Where do angels lose their way?
I like that she gives you the necklace, but the necklace still appears in her character portrait.
Yeah, when did she... I just have a lot of questions. I'm sure the game probably explicates this at some point. When did she get this? Where and why?
I mean,
Isn't that the timing that she has when she appears in front of Luca?
I was about to say, it's
Oh.
Shala's pendant. It's on there when she's a baby.
Oh, Jesus, that's it. Yeah.
Okay, so you're going with Korcha for your party member. Okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, I considered saying no to Kid here, but I feel like the
Clearly,
Hydra
that's not
Marsh-
supposed to be the first version that you go through.
Yeah, well, and even in this case, like, getting Lena, like, I feel vaguely adds to the game. If you skip the Hydra Marsh, I feel like a lot of stuff doesn't make as much sense as it would otherwise.
And it's going to have trouble making sense anyway.
Yes,
It's
this
from-
is true.
It's Chrono Cross. It's not going to make sense anyway.
So this Chrono Wiki is trying to work out what the fuck is going on with this amulet. Embroidered on the bag is the royal emblem of Zeal, and many speculate that the item is in fact Shala's pendant. Since Kid is an incarnation of her, it seems likely, but the pendant is clearly constructed from dreamstone, while this amulet is wooden.
Whatever, man.
Whatever, man.
Like, what's the latest bullshit we have to deal with your stupid family?
Yeah, why is there a, like, semi-solid cat flying around? What's up? It's just a cat. What could it be? Oh, your character who never says anything is terrified, and there's no way to communicate that.
Oh my god.
I think by the time that they clarified his fear of cats, I had essentially just forgotten about that scene entirely.
If you don't go to a certain place in the original town, I think this is the first place you actually see, like, a blacksmith. But, of course, I barely have
Might
anything.
be. Besum Q29.
Okay.
Oh, hey,
Something.
before you leave the screen,
Too late.
I was going to say, make sure you actually do buy something from the merchant.
Okay. Is it... Can I go back to the screen and do it?
Yeah.
Okay. And why is that?
You get another part for Skelly.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Yay, bones!
Gotta put this set of bones together so that he can talk to his blind mom.
There we go. Got a pelvis.
Received its bones, it screams and I hate it.
Bones won't stop screaming. You would like the bones to stop screaming, but they just won't.
It likes squid gut pasta. Is that a thing?
Could be. It can
Probably.
be. Do you want it to be?
Not particularly.
Well, too bad it is now. Should have spoke up sooner. I'm
How
sorry.
do you do this?
I just can't.
Oh man, there's an NPC that reminds me of one of the dumbest parts of Chrono Cross. That you have to use summons to get particular materials to, like, build particular things, which means...
You'll never guess what I didn't bother with.
You just have to grind elements against, like, the stupidest things.
That feels like it was something that they realized, like when they realized that it was nearly impossible and completely impractical to use any of the summons, they were just like, well, we need to incentivize someone to force themselves to use them.
So if you ask me, most of the time the best way to like force the player to do something is just make it really difficult. They will assume something awesome is at the end of it and do it because it's a pain in the ass.
That is kind of how summoning works in this game.
Very much so.
Like, it is in no way a useful thing.
I
Nope.
forgot this doctor is fucking has like all the hallmarks of being a late 90s surfer stereotype, but also has deep emotional turmoil.
I like that it's like one of his best moves is like hang 10 and stuff. Like,
Just truly a bizarre clash. No one can use magic now, so we use this weird techno magic called elements. I forget where. Like, I assume that it's fate's fault that these exist.
yeah, no, that makes... I think actually it's a fault of the dragons, isn't it? Like, that winds up being...
Those are basically the same thing in different timelines.
Can't believe the dragons fucked everything up for us.
I do like that they compensated for the fact that, like, they made a point in Chrono Trigger that magic couldn't be used by humans for thousands of years. And so, like, they did find a way to sort of make sense of that and still have magic. On the other hand, complete bullshit.
Also, you could have just had Specchio come in.
Yeah, that too. Which they kind of ultimately do.
Yeah, but you don't get magic from him.
Like, they find all sorts of crazy ways to do things in this game. And I very much appreciate how, like, the entire Korcha family does not join you unless you don't have Korcha in your family.
I mean, I would take any excuse to be away from Korcha. Like, everyone else in his family, if you refuse to save kid, he gets really pissed off at you and won't join you. And
Right.
then everyone else in his family calls him a huge piece of shit.
And joins you.
Yeah.
Matcha and whatever boomerang
No.
child.
Mel.
Mel.
She doesn't have Cha in her name, the black sheep of the family. She could be Melcha. We don't know. Maybe she has to earn the name Melcha.
Yeah, that's it. You work your way up to the Shah. Oh, what a horrible world that would be.
It implies that there are like ranks of Cha.
Just the concept makes me sad.
An entire Cha-based society.
No.
The least
We're not
pants you
going
wear, the
down.
more powerful you are.
Oh
Oh
god.
God, I disagree with that assertion.
You know, do you ever figure that there was, like, a reckoning after Surge discovered, like, the entire island's religion is based on... No, you know what? Never mind. There'd be no possible way he could explain anything.
Yeah, no, he could spend like 30 minutes trying to explain what was going on, and everyone would just think that he was a rambling, crazy person, and they'd be right too.
It's like, don't you understand? 2,000 years from now, it'll be 20,000 years back.
I still think, like, honestly, one of the more interesting takes on, like, what does a fucking JRPG religion do once it's, like, definitively proven to be a horrible hoax is FF10-2 and New Yevon, where it's like, well, not gonna stop people.
Yeah, it's like, no, we'd like to go back to that. That was fun.
We would like, this is still kind of the basis of our society. That's not gonna immediately go away.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, like, you can tell us, hey, so you're God, I met him and killed him. That doesn't mean they're going to stop praying.
And also, I thought that game really made a good point, is that basically, I mean, there was obviously, like, institutions all over the place, but that was a game where there was definitely a, shall we say, Vatican of faith, and, like, whether that religion turned out to be evil or not, like, people still had a lot of real estate there. Like,
yeah,
they
like
weren't just gonna move.
the raw like power structure is not just going to go away.
Yes, even if the raw power structure was mostly zombies.
There were still just enough of the people who were actually alive.
Yeah, and they're like, dude, can we just get back to, like, you know, living in our palatial city? Thanks. Where we've got teleporters for some reason.
There's gonna be the occasional Christmas and Easter Yevon night.
Okay, yes. I mean,
But then it's about the sense of community.
I do feel like that religion is a little bit more prominent, just because, like, whether you believe it or not kind of depends on whether or not you become, like, a wolf demon upon death.
I mean, like...
It's never implied that, like, it's belief in Yevon that turns you into a wolf demon. It's just that, you know, whether you're angry about being dead.
Well, I mean, like, the whole wolf demon thing, it happens regardless, but, like, I feel like you start believing in whatever religion after your grandma turns into a wolf demon, you're like, okay, they might have a point here.
Yeah, it's like, okay,
themselves on that.
all religion is based on faith, but if you do in fact have, like, you know, documented evidence of your grandma turning into a wolf demon because she died super pissed, I mean, I could see being like, yeah, no, okay, all right, sure. Guess that's.
I mean, I would buy that.
Yeah.
At that point, like, I'm like, okay, fine, you Yevon, regular Yevon, whatever, this is cool.
And it's also just always very easy to just say, that was probably some perversion of something. The fact that the opposing faction was called the Youth League also implies that it was also like a generational split, although that's not well illustrated within the game.
Yeah, because everybody is 16.
Yeah.
Including their literal savior.
We're all better off that the proposed FF10-3 does not seem to be being set in motion.
My understanding, and I could be wrong, I haven't played it, but my understanding is if you 100% FF10-2, Titus just comes back because whatever, why not?
Because he was a dream of the Faith, and the Faith agreed to dream long enough for him and Unit to live out a life.
That's... alright, sure, whatever.
But yeah, like, 10-3 was basically just them kind of doing FF10 again, but everyone hates each other. Like, that was the proposal.
What?
Yeah.
Like, it was just gonna be, Sin's back because people are thinking about Sin too much. And Yuna's gonna try to kill him the same way she was gonna try to kill him in FF10, the way that will inevitably kill her.
Well, that's lame.
Yeah, like, it is good that we did not have to suffer that.
I mean, legitimately, my first choice would have been like it
Wait,
seems...
so the way Sin works is it works in the same rules as the game?
Like, FF10's entire world is motivated a lot about, like, belief and cycles.
And when we say belief, like straight up believing in something, like basically the entire
Peter Pan that
concept
shit.
of death in that universe is if you really don't want to die, you don't die.
I mean, yeah, all right, I can see that being an issue.
And you're sufficiently important. Grumble, grumble.
Well, I mean, legitimately, not even the important thing seems to be important, because there's Final Fantasy X-2 reveals like just some dude has been alive for like 10,000 years.
Making being an unsent is like the best choice they could have made. But I take issue with the only kinds of people that end up being walking, like, that is a band-aid fix that FF10 attempts to apply, but I take issue with just the whole premise in different ways. But we could talk about that. Not when we're talking about Chrono Cross. Are you trying to recruit Greco?
Oh, I am absolutely recruiting Greco. I don't see the point of being alive if I don't recruit Greco.
I say this every fucking time, but it's super fucked up that fiction has yet to create a Frey Tormenta half as good as actual Frey Tormenta.
Doesn't have the raw power of reality.
No, just can't do it. Doesn't work.
Gotta get a luchador.
Damn dragoons. Don't remember ever being able to see his hair in his portrait on my CRT.
I agree completely.
Yeah, that was surprising to me too. Like, I was like, huh, he has hair. It's white, makes sense. Probably getting up there, but huh.
I might check his original portrait to see if they have an excuse or not.
Yeah, no, that was definitely my first thought on seeing that, because that seems new to me.
Yeah. Like, it's always been in the art and shit, but you didn't see a lot of the art in.
But I assist you in escaping the darkness, amigo.
Amigo.
Also, in Japanese, apparently his name is Gilbert?
I
don't mean Gilbert.
But, like, with a J?
No, it's like it's just in Japanese, like, you would just, it's written out in katakana as Jiruberto. Jiruberto.
Huh. Alright. Well then.
So weird.
Just so long as he isn't named like something that's a random Chrono Trigger reference, we would never understand.
Okay, yeah, looking at it, yeah, his hair was always there, it's just that the resolution was so small you couldn't fucking tell.
Well, that makes sense.
Thing about pixels, or like rather upscaling pixels, if you're like working, like, I know at least some of the portraits were AI upscaled. If you're working from a image where like where would be a hair is less than the thickness of 1 pixel, you're not going to get hair. There's nothing for it to assume off of.
Yeah, well, I looked at, I like zoomed in on it like more than I could have ever on a CRT, and it's like there are pixels there showing his white hair.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at an LP of it, and you can see the hair. It's just didn't really know. It's kind of hard to tell what you're looking at.
Yeah.
I mean, it identified it as hair, I guess, but I mean, you can see it easily.
Yeah, it's one of those things, like, colors run a lot more there as well, which can kind of obscure things. Oh god, are you recruiting Van?
Just want to see Master go.
I don't think you can recruit another world van.
I was going to say,
though.
you don't recruit this one, but I don't think I even looked at him on the previous, when we were here.
Yeah.
His gorgeous watercolor house.
Let's see.
Oh,
Oh, is the house supposed to be looking like the watercolors?
I think
in
it
this
always
ga-
did, just now it's easier to tell.
Okay.
So it was there, but didn't really matter.
Apparently in Japanese, van was called Van Cliff?
Man, heel sing.
If only.
Also, I like... It's one of those weird things wherein... I think this is the only character, is Van's father, who, noticeably is, super different physically from his other self.
It makes sense since his other self is extremely poor and would thus be taken care of much worse.
Yeah, but, I mean, it's just kind of a funny thing where they kind of make the point that when we finally get there, the two towns are two totally different places, thanks to invasions and what have you. But
Yeah.
in this situation, it's the only person who's actually physically different.
That's one of those things where it's it just kind of betrays the entire premise, because it's just oh, things have been very different. How come no one else looks different?
And it's also the kind of funny thing wherein, obviously they weren't going to take the time to go through every NPC and be how
Yeah,
are they
that wasn't doable.
different in this world, right? But the other side of that is, just, they kind of gave up immediately. And
This is
for
very
some
much a
reason,
game that feels like
Van's
it's
dad.
several allocations of budget away from making a more coherent product.
Okay, now
And then you put Lucky Dan back in, so you get to do stuff.
I finally took him out just to take his elements. Alright.
Yeah, there isn't a quick way to swap elements from one character to another.
Correct, which is a pain in the ass.
Which is, I think, something that FF7 had, so I
Yeah,
don't know what their
it's
excuse
definitely
was.
something that... I mean, even FF6 had, somebody on airship that you just be unequip all party members? Sounds fun.
I don't even mean unequip all party members. FF7 and I believe FF8 both have ways to just, transfer all the shit equipped on one of these characters to another.
Yep. I know what you did.
Transfer all the materia, transfer all the junctions.
Oh yeah, that's true. Anyway, let's
So-
go hang out where angels lose their way.
I'm looking at the LP here, and they're talking about Greco. And yeah, his Japanese name is Gilbert, and his friend is Getz. This is a big reference to the Grammy Award-winning 1964 album Getz Gilberto. Probably best known for the track "Girl from Ipanema," sung by Astrid Gilberto.
Huh.
That is a set of choices being made.
I mean, I'm tempted to call it a deep cut, but
Bum,
Nah,
bum,
it doesn't
bum,
deserve
bum, 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 bum.
Get used to this sequence.
Also, I like that they didn't try to go full weird Spanglish with Greco. They just had him say amigo randomly.
Listen, there's only so much the filter can do. Also, I like that the circumstance means that he just the only thing Greco has to say about this entire thing is, this must be the wormhole that connects the two dimensions.
Or I should have brought Pushel, because Pushel's the only character that actually came from this world in the first place.
Poshel does not care what world Poshel is in.
Yay, we're back.
But yeah, you get very used to falling through that dimensional rift, because I don't think there's a second one. It's just always through the beach.
Well, it's the one spot where you died, or whatever the hell.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's
They
just
can
one of
only
those
make
things where it's you would. I'm surprised they didn't contrive a way to give you a more convenient way to do it.
Let's
Yeah,
have
figure
Lena
eventually
puzzle.
gave it, epic.
Yeah.
Hey, this is weird.
That girl looks like me.
Just the sheer enormity of your twin shows up.
Sure.
She
She
says,
just leaves.
why don't you talk
Doesn't
to your
care.
boyfriend about it? And then she's like, well, back to babysitting.
No further questions. No questions of why are you hanging out with this girl who looks exactly like me?
And, like, literally wearing the same clothes.
Yeah.
What's her name? Lena?
Should I be concerned about this? And there's like 5 different dimensions of concern you could be about that, quite reasonably.
Yeah, like, even without dimension travel involved, there's probably a reason to ask more questions.
Like, if there's no dimension travel involved, it honestly becomes more concerning. Because it's like, did she do this of her choice? Did you pay her to do this?
Yeah, I was about to say, where did she get my clothes?
For this to serve?
Did you just have this?
Also, Poshal's just back now.
Of course he is. Why wouldn't he be?
Well, they do make the point in this game that I appreciate, that when characters aren't in your party, they're just hanging out wherever it is they normally hang out.
Yeah, the question is, how'd she get back?
No, we do not ask that question of Pushel. That is a foolish thought, and I am concerned you would even ask it.
Posh, you shoot full speed ahead.
Looks cool.
Pori army is investigating. Remember Pori? Remember their vast and powerful army?
Based on beef jerky.
Remember the noted dipshit that leads it? I find it weird, and it seems like this is probably honestly kind of a pain in the ass, the extremely variable width of the text boxes themselves.
I don't disagree with that.
And I think a lot of games of the era did that. I think. I'm suddenly genuinely unsure. I know Final Fantasy VII did it.
FF7 did. I think that once you get to like 8 and 9, they kind of standardized the width of them. Because they, like, having a the point of doing the variable width would be to be sort of like a comic panel-esque look to them.
Right.
But, you know, having them
Like
be
in
variable
Seven,
width
like, they were all
introduces a
over
ton
the
of,
place.
like,
Clear places.
font bugs.
That was kind of cool, yeah.
I mean,
I'm sure it was a pain in the ass for, like, you know, actually, like, dealing with it.
this is definitely something I want to talk about in my Wild Arms 3 Let's Play, but I feel like there's a certain presentation that the minute JRPGs hit the point that they could basically be Final Fantasy X, a lot of other things came by the wayside.
Because... Yeah, no, FF10 absolutely sets the tenor for what a PS2 RPG is going to look like.
And I would argue that it is very much the base of what is going forward, basically because they no longer... I would have to say JRPGs before Final Fantasy X basically worked off of, like, they're trying to be comic books, or even, a weird thing to say, but puppet shows, the way the characters are animated. And the minute you hit Final Fantasy X, you're basically making live-action TV or a movie. It just happens to be a JRPG.
Their ambition to be a movie clearly dates back to at least 7.
Oh, yeah, which has always been a thing.
Over
but they finally got to the point where they could actually do it.
The FF10 paradigm just finally explodes when they hit the PS3 and they realize, like, it has reached an unwieldy version of itself. Because, like, whatever your thoughts are on FF13, that is a game that is, like, it is taking the FF10 paradigm and pushing it to the point where it breaks.
Yeah, no, couldn't disagree with that.
Sounds correct.
And Final Fantasy 13 did have a lot of interesting stuff going on but, like, it's funny when you read interviews that seem so out of date at this point, but are completely accurate. Like, Final Fantasy 13 was majorly influenced by the television show Lost. And,
I mean, that
like,
makes perfect sense given how it's constructed.
yeah, which, if you think about it, yes, absolutely. But by the same
I think
token,
I
it's
think
also
FF13 might have the exact same cheat that Lost does at one point, where a character who is not dead is just in a coffin for no reason.
Yes, 100% accurate.
I know that's in FF13. I don't know if it's in Lost, but I think it is.
Yeah, no, I think it absolutely is. I think it's part of like the 3rd season or something else where they're just like, "Oh, this character's dead," and it's like, no, they're not. It was just a gigantic feint for the audience.
There's never been like a worse there's never been like a shittier attempt to build drama because there is no possible payoff to we showed a character who we implied just died inside of a coffin, and then it turns out they're alive. Why were they in the coffin? Shut up.
Yes.
That's half a
Is this
loss.
about Chrono Cross, or
Yeah.
is it about another game?
Oh, it's Chrono Cross
We're playing Chrono Cross, but we were talking about FF13.
and Lost.
Yeah.
Still, though, you never beat Lost on with how they killed Nikki and Paolo.
Oh god. All-time reigning champs. So we've met these creatures.
It's like these things exist.
But yeah, like, gosh. There's a lot I like about FF13, I'll be honest, but that sequence where they just like fake Saz committing suicide is one of those things where it's like you should have reconsidered essentially everything about this.
Should have, like, I would say you should have had second thoughts, but that would imply first thoughts.
Something like that,
I mean,
yeah.
and never mind the fact that like they're trying to fake the suicide thing. They're also doing it while he's like, "I just got a cool new motorcycle," or no, go-kart.
It's like a tank for him.
Just like whatever the excuse.
For Snow, it's a lesbian motorcycle. For Saz, it's a tank. For Lightning, it's a horse. Forget what the other 3 are.
Yeah, Lightning does look like a horse girl.
I mean, there's really no doubt in my mind that yeah, she'd be excited about that horse, and then ultimately she is excited about that horse.
I mean, she's mostly just really grumpy from that portion of the game, but I assume she appreciates the horse.
And then Lightning Returns goes ahead and like gives you the horse turns into a bird.
Yeah, not much about Lightning Returns makes sense, so that's kind of far.
Lightning Returns is just brilliant in so many ways.
Lightning Returns was much more fun for me when I just started thinking of it as this is Valkyrie Profile 3, but with a worse story.
Yeah, no, there's a
So
lot.
there's a bunch of Bibas here.
Yes, there are.
I don't fully know what a Biba is, but I don't like them.
It is what you're
Sometimes
looking
better
at,
off
and
not knowing.
that's all you need to know.
Yeah.
Since we reference this show seemingly every week, I'm forcibly thinking of a line that I think about a lot from Futurama, which is just tell them I hate them.
That and I'll be in the Angry Dome are things that I say surprisingly often.
Tell them I hate them.
What are they? I am having a hard time. Can I? Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I was thinking, it doesn't seem like you really have very many healing elements junctions.
And of course, they just all want to hit Lena immediately.
They hate her for reasons that are not clear.
Sure, they have a reason.
Even if this weren't a random enemy mob, I would point out that it's Chrono Cross, so there's a very good chance they don't.
It's not quite a random enemy mob. Like, I think this is a required battle.
Like, this is a required battle with, like, these weirdos, but it is, like, in terms of the plot, this is a random enemy.
Fair enough.
So you use that recover all. Now your girlfriend's dead.
Yeah,
Your
could have
altered
used it earlier,
girlfriend.
but no, this game is weird and annoying in that respect.
Yeah, it's
Why
okay.
does
You
this
got
Biba have so much health?
I don't know. Pain in the ass
I'm
is
beginning to
what...
think you're supposed to lose this.
Are you?
Biba.
People.
Oh, the wiki describing this just makes me more unhappy with these things.
I mean, it's a fan wiki. Certain things should be just taken for granted.
Yeah, it's just when it's describing, like, they have bone necklaces and huge red lips, it's like, oh, that's a really upsetting, like, pair of traits to give to anything.
I was about to
Yeah,
say, I
but-
hadn't even really noticed that, but now that I have, I'm upset.
Yeah.
Like, previously I just thought there were little yellow swamp monsters, but yeah... It's probably a thing.
Nothing good coming from this. Yeah, it doesn't look like you have to lose this. You're just getting your ass beat.
No, I mean, like... I'm like... I think I beat the lead Biba, and the other ones are going to be slightly easier. Might be
It's nice
wrong.
to dream. It's nice to want things.
And it's just... It like... Lena
What?
went down because she's a loser, but, like...
Harsh.
The rest of this is just kind of... They're doing, like, 4 damage, and I'm doing 4 damage, and it's like, okay.
We all
Well,
love
Lena
doing
also
that.
has like a third of your health. Everybody
Yeah.
else's health.
Yeah, I don't know why her health sucks that bad, but I guess it's just mage.
Why
Pretty
does
much.
Greco keep missing so much though?
That's why you're supposed to use Eagle Eye. Yeah, a lot of the like the fucking jab strong fierce shit going on here. It doesn't feel like it adds much. It's complexity without adding any depth.
Uh-oh. Surge is getting a little low on health.
Yeah, but
And
like
he's
they're
got
doing
multiple
consistently
healing
like
elements.
10 HP. It's still gonna be a while.
Wait, how did Lena die? Was there somebody that had a nuke?
They ganged up on her.
Yeah, they just attacked her a bunch.
Oh yeah, that one's sitting down. He's getting weak.
It's
Yep,
pathetic, Biba.
but we still have to wait through like 17 attack animations to get to the point where I can fight him.
I don't know why you aren't speeding this up.
It's in speed up mode.
What?
You heard.
I refuse to comprehend.
Like this is regular speed. Here we're back to regular speed.
Oh god, don't. No.
You complained. You have to deal with it.
I complained it was too slow. That doesn't mean get slower.
I mean, he's got you there, Gogglebub.
All right, we're back to fast. Still fighting Beavis.
Fast being a relative term.
Yeah, I don't miss the PlayStation era RPG.
Nor do I.
I don't miss this aspect of the PlayStation era.
You guys are getting tired.
It's
The worst
okay.
part is, I actually skipped the entire PlayStation era and did it and experienced it via the PS2 era. And that feels like it should be a crime, because at that point we had better and we knew better.
I don't know. I'd still say I play a lot of PS1 RPGs over PS2
dude.
ones. A lot of PS2 RPGs, because they're all like a lot of PS1 RPGs are raping FF7, but most PS2 RPGs are raping FF10.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, very much so. still going for that piece of the Final Fantasy pie before somebody somewhere saw GTA 3 and decided, no, we're going to do that now.
We're going to slam that together with an arbitrary selection of themes and genres. And that's how you get games like Roadkill. That was the dying gasp of someone being like, we're going to make a Twisted Metal clone, meeting the opening breath of, we're going to make a Grand Theft Auto 3 clone.
Mm-hmm.
The result, Mutant sucks ass.
Okay, so like this one battle is going to take all night, but we're winning.
Oh, 142 damage. He hasn't done that much damage all fight.
Well, because the Beebas kept interrupting like the chain, so I didn't have enough percentage to do what I needed to do. But now
I will
think they're
never. I refuse to understand what internal logic governs when an enemy interrupts your attacks.
I mean, it just seems like the more enemies there are, the more likely it will be interrupted.
I mean, that's just simple logic. That like, if there are
All it is simple logic.
That's not logic. That's an RNG. If it is RNG, I'm curious as to what purpose it was meant to serve.
Okay.
I forget. Is this one of the games where like, if Surge dies, like it's game over? Or...
No,
No.
it has to be the whole party.
Which is vaguely why Grieco's here, because, you know, he can...
he's just
He is large and in
He
charge.
is large.
beefy fellow.
He's a big boy.
Alright, Biba, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Isn't there like a shelter? No, there isn't. I need something that can bring Lena back to life. On the plus side, with her completely lousy health, it's very easy to bring her back to maximum very quickly.
Well, the next Fast and Furious movie is going to be a lot less fun.
Oh, what they reveal about it?
Oh, Justin Lin just dropped out as director.
Oh, that's a shame.
He's been the director since, like, the fourth one.
Yeah,
Really?
that's also probably no coincidence. The point where they get really fucking good.
Let me double check to make sure that I'm remembering exactly when he entered the franchise.
I think he came in Tokyo Drift.
Let's see.
Tokyo Drift's fun.
Another stupid beat.
Yeah, he starts on Tokyo Drift as director.
I like that we get a flute, and then like 3 areas later, it's like, why don't you use the flute? It's like, alright, fine.
There aren't a lot of big dungeons. There are definitely long ones. There aren't a lot of big ones.
I mean, you can see why when the battle system takes for frickin' ever to do anything.
I think it's also just that the game, honestly, is being made by someone who is thinking in terms of having a Final Fantasy budget and does not have it.
Oh good, another boss fight.
Oh boy.
Alright, back to speed up mode. Oh wait, that's slow down mode. Okay. Lena, I swear to God, if you die in 5 seconds, I'm gonna be so angry at you.
I don't think she's going to have a lot of say in the matter.
she's successfully dodging things. That makes me happy.
So is this a big firefly, or...?
I think that's the idea. I mean, you're at like a giant swamp, so...
Yeah, it's just one of those things, like, I don't remember ever bothering fighting this.
I think there's something that you can do to get the Biba fruit so you don't fight it. But whatever, man. Or maybe the Biba fruit you get later, so that way you can...
You can Biba.
I like that this thing was frozen solid and Lena managed to miss hitting it twice. Like, that is a dedication.
Lena, you're zero sum in this combat thus far.
Making me angry.
Street speeds by. Sonic the Hedgehog. Ah, Speed could not take the
Give
heat.
him the old dash and slash. Let's use Maiden's Hand, which does 9 HP of damage. That was totally worth it.
Is this thing hit with basically anything?
I don't know.
Because Greco's health sure hasn't gone down at any point during this fight.
Honestly, I'm not complaining after the last one.
I mean, like, I think I might have accidentally switched it into fuck you mode, and I don't care.
It's not an interesting enough combat for it to matter.
I mean, the most interesting thing about combat in Chrono Cross is just seeing what crazy thing you're fighting next. Like a giant dragonfly. Okay. We defeated it, and now there's a thing in the ground. It's the only way forward, dude. Let's just fall in the hole. We know we want to fall in the hole. See, again, the most interesting things in this game are whatever crazy crap they decide to make.
Here's a thing. Are you recruiting Rasley?
Of course.
Of course.
I mean, if I don't recruit Rasley, then I can't later watch dwarves commit genocide or something? I don't remember the details.
This
Why are we on the genocide side? Or rather, just not intervening? Like, I mean,
game doesn't give you a lot
of the tank, but like, you know, be an option we should consider. I would hope.
This time we're
Madam
trapped in a hole.
Pentapus.
I mean, Pentapus, that makes sense, and it can talk for some reason.
Sounds legit.
I mean, you know, there's really no reason it shouldn't be able to talk. Like, we just kind of assume these things don't. Yeah, I think I put it in everybody misses mode, and I'm not turning it off. You're just gonna have to deal with that, Pentapus. This is kind of nice. It's like, rather than give you, like, level bazillion powers or whatever, just the bad guys always miss.
Wait, did you do some sort of blind debuff while I was not paying attention, or
basically, yeah. If you hit, let me see here, R3 on the PlayStation, it turns on some little icon that looks like a sword with an up arrow next to it, and apparently, it just means that they always miss.
Good.
All right.
Getting hit was boring.
Like, why should Lena die? I want her to live. That way she can do all 4 HP damage when I have her use her special move.
Seriously, that's it?
That is in fact how much it did.
That is deeply upsetting.
I think that this creature might be blue aligned, which might help accuse that a little bit.
A little bit.
I ain't here to pretend that it accuses it completely.
I like that the Pentapus uses the Hexa hit. That makes perfect sense.
Sure. Hex is 8. No. Oct is 8. Hex is 6.
Hex, hept, oct.
How many sides does the Pentagon have? I like that I've got a +2 on turn green, which I don't think actually does anything.
I think that literally, yeah, there's
maybe
absolutely no purpose in putting a turn blank element in the...
So it makes them turn really green.
As part of whatchamacallit, maybe as part of Hexa hit, like the dude also headbutts you.
I think that might be what's happening there. And you say dude, but this is clearly a lady Pentapus.
Oh, apologies.
I do like that literally every monster in the game has a binary male or female symbol. Like, okay, guys.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't just the eyelashes in this case. God, when you get up close to Pentapus, there's some actual there's some actual, like, detailing going on in that mouth.
I'd like it to not be.
No, you're going to imagine what it's like to be swallowed by the Pentapus.
No,
They're not, you know?
There's
Like,
an
given the
entire
option-
quarter of the internet that's really excited about this
I would
concept.
rather not.
Dang it, Bob. You make me look it up now.
I'm pretty sure the Pentapus was forgotten as quickly as it was invented. Wop.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
And the Pentapus has been penta-extinct or something. Also, I do
You
like
didn't
that...
go extinct 5 times, you dip.
What's important is it's no longer my problem. I also like that you can absolutely leave Razlie here, and then she just dies and gets eaten by the Pentapus.
Here's Razlie. She's part of a triple tech.
One of 2.
Yep. I don't know why.
I also like that they do make the effort of... when you recruit different characters, they explain Chrono Cross up to that point. Like, by the way, we're going to go to a different dimension, just in case you're not aware. Tee-hee, how about taking me with you?
Lo, 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 and la, la, la.
Rasley is joining the party, but only technically. Don't know why Rasley has that weird bit at the end where she speaks in, like, all ellipses, like she's Magus or something, but here we are.
Don't worry, there's not much to learn about her. She has a sister. Soon she will not have a sister.
I was about to say. Bad news about that.
It's possible for her to still have a sister, but then she doesn't get her level 7 tech for some reason.
And if she doesn't get her level 7 tech, then you don't get the triple tech.
Triple tech.
Because that makes perfect sense.
Wait, so like,
You only
she's
get her level
powered up
7
like
tech by fucking up.
Ah. Bizarre. Okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, at one point in the game, you're literally like, let's go to Rasley's home. Do you want to take Rasley with you? And most reasonable people are like, that seems like a good idea. But
Yeah, I mean, it's her place, you know?
the only way to get her up to her level 3 tech is to watch her sister die there, which means you don't bring her. And then you come back later
If
and be
she's there,
like,
she'll intervene.
yeah, if she's there, she will save her sister. But then she won't, like, get sad enough to go Super Saiyan, so guess what?
So really, the game is putting the choice to you with what matters more.
If it was putting the choice to you, it would tell you.
I was about to say, if you were aware it was a choice, that'd be one thing. It isn't. It is just a thing that happens. So anyway, these are some dwarves. They live in the marsh. You're about to kill
Get
the
used to seeing
entire,
them.
like, central part of their ecosystem, and that's going to end poorly.
Oh, really? I can't imagine why.
Like, these little idiots that are wearing buckets, they're going to make a tank.
They're gonna make a tank and commit genocide and yell at you about how you caused them to commit genocide.
Why did you make me do this?
Wait, is this the path where you are actually the one that makes them do it, or is it the path
Yes.
where you're just like a
Yeah, this is the
stand-in for
you
all
kill
of them?
the hydra and that's the first one. Reichman comes in with a Suikoden 1 reference. Good job.
There's 108
not
reasons to
played-
not play this game. So what
No,
happens?
no. Saying does Rasley have the Soul Eater rune?
Okay, that's neat. So I can turn on this little thingy that makes it so that none of the monsters actually activate battles.
Okay. Do that when you're not. Do that when you're no longer gaining stats, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much. Of course, I've still got Mega Miss mode on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, it
absolutely
really
enough.
does just brush up against the fact that fundamentally there just isn't a lot of reward for fighting for the most part in this game.
Which, in a weird way, I like appreciate. Like it's kind of neat to be in a situation where sort of the pacifist route is the best choice. Because as much as I love Chrono Trigger, and I absolutely love Chrono Trigger, one thing that I never understood about it from a design perspective is that there are a number of situations wherein it's clear that getting into a battle is sort of the lose condition. Like, there's multiple ways you can sneak past an enemy, and it's clear that if an enemy is attacking you, you probably did the wrong thing. But then that's the only way you get experience. So it's like, if you
Unfortunately, this has as many, if not more, combat encounters than Chrono Trigger, so...
Oh yeah, no, definitely. But Chrono Trigger's weird. Like, there's that whole bit in the sewers in the future where, like, you can do all sorts of crazy things to make sure you don't have to fight those mer people. But if you fight those mer people, then you have more experience, so you're stronger. So it's like...
But also, Chrono Trigger's combat is fun, so neither of those is a true lose condition, because
This
you'll have
is
a
true.
different kind of fun either way.
You don't have fun like trying to manage the grid.
Just that noise.
Let's play a speed run of Chrono Trigger from GDQ today.
It's
That's
actually
pretty
probably
good.
pretty interesting.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Did they do anything
And,
interesting in there?
Well, I mean, the whole thing's interesting because Chrono Trigger is a really good game, but
Yeah. It's one of those things that's just fascinating on its own.
Like any one of
Yeah.
those, like, blew the whole thing wide open type situations?
I haven't seen the Chrono speedrun in a while, but I'm pretty sure it's actually not super glitch heavy. At least
it
the
was
one I
glitchless.
saw. Oh, it was
Well,
glitchless.
Even
Yeah.
better.
Well, I like a few glitches. I mean, for flavor.
Dun, 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 dun.
So
Yeah, I'm gonna
why
bring that
Super
up.
Mario Land 2?
It's got a good soundtrack.
Why
Yeah.
What do you
not?
want from me?
I only
Right.
brought up Chrono Trigger because they go through so much work to avoid doing any battles in that game, as many battles as possible in that game.
Yes, which makes perfect sense if you're trying to move as quickly as possible. So it's time to fight the dwarves and the hi-ho chorus.
Oh, I
Rally Ho?
Yeah, this is that was Daffy dwarf, Daggy dwarf, Daffy, Daggy, and regular.
How come none of them says Rally Ho?
They say hi-ho. Is that good?
No, it's not.
Dude, can I say
What game
that
was Rally Ho from?
Final
What?
Fantasy?
Yeah, it's like FF4.
And can I also say, I don't know if any of you have played Stranger of Paradise, but they actually go out of their way to explain why there are dwarves and elves in Final Fantasy 1, and they mostly don't appear in other games.
That sounds fun.
It's kind of like, we just realized that we were a little bit too D&D here, so let's explain it for some reason.
This... But yeah, I'm probably gonna pick up Stranger of Paradise sometime, like next month maybe.
I
That's my.
recommend it. If you enjoy...
I really like the demos. So.
Yeah,
My
if you
plan
enjoy
is
the
to grab
combat,
it
it's a lot
when I
of fun.
get either an Xbox or PS5, one or the other.
I mean, I initially played it on the PS4, and I do not have complaints, and I understand that might indicate I have brain problems, but it is true.
No,
No, I mean, like, I
you...
just don't have a PS4.
Yeah,
hooked
Beat doesn't
up
have a
right now.
PS4 anymore.
Oh, that's right. You never replaced that? That sucks.
No, I
No.
did. I just, didn't. I've got it sitting around somewhere, but like, I really want to try the new hotness. So, and 9 times out of 10, when I sit down and play video games, I either play Smash or I'm a Hotline. So,
Which makes perfect sense.
Fucking play Devil May Cry 5, you piece of shit.
Okay.
Get
Play
right
it.
on that. Yeah, no, I was actually able to score a PS5 last week.
Congrats.
Nice.
It was Amazon.
Speaking of which, let us see if video cards are at list price. Yet. No, they are not.
Why do you make yourself hurt?
They're getting closer, slowly but surely. I don't know about surely, but slowly. Yeah, they're currently not at double list price, right?
Hooray!
I mean, I guess that's
less than
almost
100%
nothing.
markup.
If you really go digging, it's not too much of a problem to get a Series X at this stage.
Yeah, no, my understanding is Walmart's had them available pretty frequently.
Yeah, if you go looking, if you're just willing to look for, like, basically if you're following, like, Wario 64, you'll probably be able to get one.
Here comes the Hydra. Surge's legs can't connect
No,
with each
it is
other.
going.
Oh shit, you can find it at less than a 50% markup. How about that?
Very
What a
impressive.
world.
It's a Christmas miracle. And not Christmas.
It's not even my
And-
birthday.
Not even really a
It
miracle.
was my birthday last week.
Oh, happy.
Happy
Happy birthday.
Why, thank you.
Godmas.
I think we said that already, but
I don't remember. It's
Wait,
not
when was
bad.
it last week?
likely.
Was it last week before or after the stream?
Before, actually.
Oh, okay.
It was
Uh,
Monday,
we
we
did say-
streamed on
Fuck you.
Tuesday.
Most likely. We've
Then
probably
fuck
said
you.
something.
I'm not sure if it came up.
Are you trying to double dip on birthday greetings?
I'm just
Yeah,
a
you're trying
little
to, like-
birthday boy.
Cash in.
Coco Bob's allowed to advertise his birthday because I usually hide mine.
There you go.
It balances out.
My birthday is Super Metroid Day, so that's what's important.
I don't know what that means.
It means Super Metroid, when it was released in America, was released on my birthday.
Okay.
Look it up, it's true.
Putting it on your Wikipedia page now. Let us come together and the sky.
Screw it, I'm just gonna have Lena slap a giant caterpillar around.
Fucking. I was playing Ogre Battle March of the Black Queen
Oh, good
for
for
the
you.
first time last night. That is an opaque video game.
Your morality has gone down for some reason.
You have multiple things that could be conceived as a morality meter because you have the individual alignment, which is unit specific, and then you have chaos frame, which is not explained to you, and it's a hidden stat that applies essentially to the army.
All I know for certain is that I have literally never been able to recruit any of the extreme characters, like the demon or anybody who's like super holy or whatever. I have no idea how to rectify that.
You have to play through levels quickly because if you're going slow, the game assumes that you are trying to bilk the towns you've liberated out of as much money as possible, and that lowers your chaos. That I can't remember if it's good or bad to lower or increase your chaos frame. It makes you eviler.
But I can't even recruit the mega evil characters either.
Yeah, because in order to recruit the mega evil characters, you have to both be going extremely slowly and essentially targeting the fact that the game considers it evil for a higher level unit to attack a lower level one.
Yes.
I have a bigger.
Hello.
Hey, B. Chrono Cross can sustain only so much discussion, so I talked about Ogre Battle instead.
I don't think anybody would disagree.
Come to Ogre
I feel like we should
Battle
let's
Battle.
play Ogre Battle just to confuse the hell out of everybody. And I mean, actively the people playing it being confused too.
Which Ogre Battle? March of the Black Queen, Prince of Zenobia, or Person of Lordly Caliber?
I would refer to March of the Black Queen is what I'm thinking of.
No. Which one was re-released as Let Us Cling Together?
Oh, that's Tactics Ogre. That's a spin-off, not strictly Ogre Battle.
Oh man.
Also,
Yep.
that was the original name for it, Let Us Cling Together. You can tell which ones Yasumi Matsuno made because their subtitles are Queen songs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I mean, not even the subtitles. I mean, Ogre Battle is a Queen song.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Ogre Battle's a good Queen song, actually. But
There aren't
Oh.
bad Queen songs. Except for
There
that one
are
about
not
having
great
sex with a
ones.
car.
There's what was it? I was talking about this with some friends once that one of the marks of just an absurdly good band is how they will invent new genres of music and then just not do any, never play a song in that genre again because it's we tried it, fine.
We have
Like how Queen invented hair metal with Sheer Heart Attack,
Yeah.
and then was just okay, we did this, time to move on.
we're done.
And then, like,
Yeah.
years later, like, the boys from Motley Crue or whatever, like, hey, what's this?
Let's
I bet
base
this
our
can get us
entire
drugs.
identities on this.
I bet this can get us drugs for free.
How many songs were written with that premise?
Gonna go out on a limb and say all of them. Yeah, all of them.
I will never get over the fact that the guy who locked himself in a cupboard in order to make sure that I'm in love with my car got to be a single complained that he didn't like Freddie Mercury's like song he wrote right before his death about how much he loved his cats. Yeah. Ogre Battle and March of the Black Queen, unsurprisingly, both on Queen 2, which is a banger album.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you know, as somebody who listened to greatest hits for the ages, I did not hear that album until like much later in liking Queen, and I have to say it is definitely well worth the listen if you've never heard it.
Oh, that album is like, that is an album. Like, that is fully an album.
Well, one thing I like about Queen is that even albums of theirs that, I mean, by all rights, should be complete disasters. You just look at them and are like, you know what? I cannot divine a single thing about this album that suggests it will be any good. The example I like to bring up is A Kind of Magic, where 85% of the songs on it are the soundtrack to the movie Highlander. And the cover is the band Queen reimagined as space bodybuilder lounge singers.
All right.
That's basically just presaging Highlander 2.
And then you listen to it, it's like, wow, this album fucking whips. Like, I don't know what to tell you. It's just, it just, when you're that good at making music, you can choose to do insane things and it will somehow work. The problem is if you just think you're good at music, you do things like the Kiss concept album.
Songs from the Elder, goddamn. Also, Brakeman says that getting the evil characters isn't much trouble. The problem is all the other characters you can't get.
And what about like the one demon dude? Because like every time he shows up, I'm like, get in my party, and he's like, nah, I'm not even doing that.
Not doing it.
Because I got like an entire party of like nothing but vampires. And he's like, no, not evil enough.
I do appreciate the very last game within the Ogre Battle saga that we ever got. Is one of those handful of beautiful games where the canonical ending is you fucking up as badly as possible. Because then it turns out that your character was actually Lancelot Tartaros, the evil knight from the later games that were released before it. Oops.
Okay, so just a brief aside about what just happened in Chrono Cross here.
You killed the Hydra and stole its tumors.
Well, this is something that always, like, I don't know if I want to say that it's stuck with me, but it's like one of those moments in video games where it's kind of like press X to kill the guy where you know you're doing something wrong, but you absolutely don't have a choice. Because it's one of those deals wherein you're literally told the world is a worse place because the Hydra was hunted to extinction. You find out there's another world where you live that the Hydra is still alive and has not been hunted to extinction. So then you go and hunt it to extinction.
But like, there aren't any Hydras when you're done, like at all. Like
You kill the last
spare
one.
even one. That is why. Why?
Like, because you gotta save Kid, and like you don't have a choice, and I guess that's the only way to save her.
Say, all right, boys, Kid is dead. There's one Hydra left. They all look at each other. They all nod once, like, we're gonna suck that Hydra's dick.
I think it's reasonable to assume that the Hydra has more than one dick.
Oh man!
Hydra definitely has like
Every time you suck a hydra stick, it grows 2 more.
Yes, that is important to know.
Eventually, like all the heroes are just lined up like guys at one of those trough urinals.
God.
This is happening. It can't unhappen.
yep.
Kid would have wanted it this way. The Hydra's like, oh yeah, I completely agree.
Hydra definitely doesn't have any ulterior motives.
This is good for the environment, just so you know.
We convinced all the world's oil drillers, instead of drilling for oil, they should be sucking dick.
Weirdly, I think that would improve the world, at least a little bit.
So we reach carbon zero in like 5 weeks.
Kumbaya. And also Doc here is like, wow, you just did something really horrible, didn't you? Okay, I'm not going to ask questions.
Listen, you already got the humor. It doesn't matter. I can't ask you where it came from.
That guy with the mohawk has like Hank Hill ass. Does this ever become a plot point?
Thankfully, we're about to be done with ever having to hear Portia's opinions on anything ever again.
That's good. That's good because like,
I hate him. I hate him so much.
I'm just imagining that he has like the Jar Jar Binks like Vesa accent.
He has a worse accent.
Oh,
That's impressive because, high bar to clear.
His name is Korcha, and just inexplicably different words end with the suffix cha when he's talking.
Oh man.
That's when they were like, that's when they reached the point where they were just desperate for anything they could pass off as a character trait.
Well, like you can still drop the phrase "this is bomb bad" into into a conversation and catch people off guard, but if you're just gonna like throw the cha in there,
I mean,
oh.
who's that guy? Who's that guy Sean Baby loves making fun of? Dennis Miller?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oi,
think that's
Serge, you did good,
thing.
mate. Struth.
Why don't you look cheerful for its change? So where is Australia in Chrono World?
I mean, presumably it's part of Lavos?
That's concerning.
Wait. What is she from Queensland? She's like Struth.
There are like the issue with differentiating every character by their accent is where are any of you fuckers picking these up from?
At least a couple of them gotta be faking, right? Like, they just saw everybody else talking.
Like the Korcha thing is just like a
and
family
we're just like,
affectation.
well, now I gotta do it too. I don't want to be left out.
I mean...
Like the Korcha thing is like a family affectation. Only that family does it, and all of that family does it.
I mean, you have to understand that currently in our party is literally the one and only luchador who seems to be the only guy on the planet who speaks some variation on Spanish.
And he just says amigo. He doesn't do anything.
I said some variation on Spanish. I didn't say a good one.
He's not even like he's not even a weeaboo about Mexico. He's like a weeaboo about El Paso.
Had some really good tacos there once.
I mean, that'd breed a lifeline. Like a good taco can breed a lifeline.
Taco
He had
is saying
amazing
El Paso,
tacos, but he had them at like
sandwich.
Chili's.
Fuck.
Just some garbage tier chain restaurant that everybody's been to.
Oh yeah.
But he won't
Like,
shut up about the Chili's tacos.
He's like, he's Where are you from? I am from Pennsylvania. I discovered a land of sun and flavor. What was it, Sonora? El Paso. And I found a sign, a beautiful sign, a bright red chili pepper in the air, signaling delicious food for all who sought it.
Does Chili's even have like a signature dish at some point? At this point, like
A
they used to
chili
say about
signature
ribs,
dish
right?
is being day drunk, I think.
yeah. Chili's signature dish is getting day drunk on $3 appletinis. They used to have these like Southwest. There's like their Southwest style egg rolls. What the fuck was it? It was like egg rolls full of like basically like fajita toppings, and then serve with a big crock of queso.
I mean, that's almost food.
I mean, queso and ribs was what I used to think about with Chili's, but then like I stopped going to Chili's.
I have
I mean,
I
never
was
been.
330
Yeah,
pounds in college, so I ate, I ate at Chili's quite a bit. Let's be real.
I have never eaten at Chili's. Brakeman points out there's probably some character whose accent is a complete FX that they think makes them sound cool, but you'd never know who. It's, yeah, fair. Could be anyone.
So is what's his name? The kid in the middle with the do-rag. Is he still a silent protagonist? Like,
Surge, yeah.
ripping? Surge, they're ripping on Chrono style with that.
His literal job is silent protagonist.
Yeah, like you check everyone and they have like an occupation listed. He's a silent protagonist.
That's
Which is a
amazing.
problem because a lot of things are supposed to. A lot of this game's story is built around things that are theoretically aspects of his interior world. He should care about things, but he cannot because that would involve him saying things or animating in any distinctive fashion.
Surge has no theory of mind. He just
Surge is completely derealized.
he's one of those people. He's one of those people on TikTok being like, I'm dissociating so hard right now. These characters are all his headmates.
Oh no.
Screw you, kid. Just because you don't want to, I'm going to chase down this idiot. Now it's time for random nonsense with
So does
casting and
things
timing.
always look right at you in her portrait? Because that's a little disquieting.
That's a change from the new portrait they made for this. She's not as directly staring into your soul before. Like most characters in this were like from sort of a three-quarters perspective, like Doc there.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, now Kid is like staring right at you.
This is clearly meant to tie in to the game's true ending, where Kid is wandering around Tokyo, and like the avowed statement Kato was attempting to make was, "You need to go out into the real world and find the kid of your world."
Who is just walking around?
Who's just
Maybe
around
she's in
somewhere.
Shibuya. You don't know.
He should have taken the budget spent on this game and done that. You use that to travel the world, like touching each person who would have bought this game on the shoulder and just saying, "You need to get your dick wet." In the shower, sure, that's a start.
It's a start, you know.
Take one.
At least
now.
you're showering.
Step in the right direction.
It's a dwarf here now.
Well, this dwarf is from the world where the hydra died off a while ago, so it never got the bright idea to build a tank.
Yeah, he's just here dancing. Proving thus that the genocidal dwarves did not in fact need to commit genocide.
I like that you can go back and forth between these worlds and ascertain that neither one is really appreciably better than the other.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, if the game was doing more with that, that would have been interesting.
Yeah, like that
but
could have been.
it just sort of
That
does it
could
by
have been like
accident.
a whole thing. But,
I don't know if it's by accident, because I feel like...
I'm sure that it's intentional, but when I say it does it by accident, I mean in the sense of it doesn't feel like there was a lot of measured decisions about how these worlds should be constructed. They just sort of are.
Yeah.
I mean, I vaguely disagree simply because they kind of make the point that Surge's world is environmentally better. And you're kind of supposed to assume that thus Kid's world is kind of shitty by comparison. But then you finally get to Termina in Surge's world.
And war.
Oh man, I love Majora's Mask.
Yes, but then you find out that it is absolutely shitty. So I feel like there is a deliberate fate there with, starting off with, oh, it's good, and then it's like, nope, no, it's not.
And then it gets bored and never really.
Yeah,
broaches the
then
subject
after that
again.
point, it's done.
Mm.
And there's a difference between how the El Nido Triangle is literally held in one world, and Chronopolis in the other.
Which one was which world has the alien in it though?
I don't know.
But I
It's
get what you're
whichever
saying,
one
though.
doesn't have the dragon.
I think there could be something interesting to do in, like, say, a game or a story where it's like, oh my god, we have to prevent this other future from taking place, and then you see the other future and it's just like not really that different. It's like, oh no, you gave up your dreams of becoming like a boat builder, and now you make like wagons.
Not appreciably.
no.
Seems like kind of a lateral move, but cool.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, my brother never married his one true love, and oh, you married this other lady. She seems nice.
Yeah, they get along. It's fine. Turns out there are lots of people you can get along with.
Forgot that Starkey's career is listed as a stray gray.
Oh, you said we were done with this Korcha guy.
We're done with him mattering.
Yeah. We have to currently
Also,
track down his sister who stole from us.
Starkey is from Homeworld.
So does that mean, like...
The one where Surge is alive is home.
I was about to say, but I'm just trying to figure out, like, what cosmic event caused an alien to crash in one world, but not the other.
It just happened.
One world he was just completely wrecked on energy drinks.
But what did you do to make him get the energy drinks?
My dad owns the dealership.
Yeah, dealership, man. God, did you see the short with those guys in it,
I
fanboy?
haven't seen the Fried Aliens short yet.
It is worth seeing. Yeah.
Okay, so it really does seem like anytime Korcha has to communicate something, they completely drop his accent.
It's a hard accent to filter over someone. And that's probably going to be something that would show up if you were fool enough to drag him along through parts of the story he is not required for.
There's probably a fact on Game Facts of all the times that Korcha says his signature cha that wouldn't otherwise be said. It's the Korcha the Korcha Guide by Split Infinity. It's really intense.
Oh yeah. No man, you open that shit up and it's got the massive ASCII art to open with.
A massive
Like-
ASCII art that's just of Portia.
1800 manually justified words about how Korcha is just an amazing, beautiful character with so many haters.
This guide that is only meant to point out this information is somehow like 3 megabytes of raw text.
Well, like
God,
I remember
beautiful.
2001 or so, like, was playing Diablo 2, trying to figure out any information I could about this completely opaque, maddening game with no takebacks, and found this guide for like Sorcerer's PvE guide, basically. And the first like third of it was just the writer going on about how he wanted to fuck the sorceress and how the
That is
sorceress.
like the toll to get through any game FAQs guide. It's just like sitting through someone having like absolutely no concept of how to appropriately express libido.
Exactly. That's it. I just watching someone utterly unhinged by sexual desire.
There's like the tradition of game FAQs eventually became like it's that and like checking the beginning to see if it's dedicated to people who died in 9/11.
God.
Dedicated to the.
It's horrible, but my favorite thing, and by favorite thing I mean the worst thing, was the brief period in approximately October of 2001 when I swear to God every other comic on Keen Spot had some way to tie in
Now we're going
September
places.
11th.
Now we're getting places. I always found it fascinating how you could find something halfway decent on Keen Space, which was just like the thing anybody could sign up for, and then eventually somebody would notice it was halfway decent and it would migrate to Keen Spot, and that would be the moment that it just sort of went downhill.
Yeah.
I mean, never mind went downhill. It would go from updating once a day to updating once a month.
Yeah.
Now
Oh
it was
god.
no longer something they could do for fun. Now it was work.
Yes. And it was a Sunday strip once every 2 months with guest comics provided by somebody who was like writing a text novel. Like that was the best you could hope for.
No, the only thing that can match the only thing that can really match the complete like collapse of the artist getting bumped up to Keen Spot are if you're invited to do like the off day comics on Giant in the Playground, Order of the Stick. You know how they always have Order of the Stick, but then they'll bring someone in to do like twice weekly comics for the days they don't have Order of the Stick, and inevitably the person who's called in to do that goes completely insane.
God, I feel like there's got to be at least a few Keen Spot alumni who didn't lose their goddamn minds, but I'm just drawing a blank trying to think of any.
Well, the best ones are the ones who were crazy to begin with.
Okay, take that. We should take that for granted because that's just true.
RPG World was technically on Keen Spot at some point, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So there you
RPG
go.
World.
Right.
So there's a guy who turned out mostly okay.
Yeah, but he wasn't white, so he was like insulated from the madness. Like the melanin had protected him.
Did you ever hear about like the
He
superosity
probably
guy?
just knew better than to trust people in power because he's like, oh yeah, no, they warned me about these white people.
Yeah, that's like no, this is fine. And I assume the other thing is that like when you got called up to Keen Spot, like the guy who ran the website was like, oh, and also now you have to live with me and my mother in this abandoned elementary school that I bought.
Yeah.
that was where I was going.
So, what was
Are we
truth
zoned
to
for
that?
this?
Because
No.
it sounded... I'm not sure how true that was, but I don't think it was all a lie.
No, I mean, he bragged about it, that he bought a freaking, school and lived with his mom. It was, in Wisconsin or something.
And that's some, horror story shit.
Yeah, no, that is straight
That
up.
is absolutely a story that ends with, and there were 5 dead bodies there.
Yeah, that's a story that just ends with multiple murders, as part of a course.
Or he just vanishes and his, I don't know, the closest thing he has to next of kin shows up to find out that Like the school has no furniture in it anywhere, and there's a ladder like in the geometric center of the school that is like perfectly perpendicular to the ground with nothing holding it up.
Yeah. Yeah, like worst case scenario, you like call the emergency contact numbers. He left somebody for tax reasons or something, and like they say, I've never heard of this person in my life. And you go there, and there's no evidence that anybody has ever lived there, except somewhere in the rubble there's a plugged-in router that's odd.
Exactly.
Wait, is this the owner of Keen Swap that lived in a school, or
Yes.
Sadly,
They
Yep.
also made the
We
comic
lost a
Superosity.
lot of powerful outsider art by the death of the webcomic boom.
oh yeah,
100%.
like we had like any weirdo could make anything, and that was beautiful.
They could
So
make
fucking-
anything, and they needed no like
They needed
there was no
experience.
expectation or requirement that they had learned formally from anyone.
I
Yeah,
remember freshman year of college, just like getting just falling into a click hole in Keen Space and losing count of the number of comics that were literally just like, I'm gay and I have an like insert like anthropomorphic boyfriend here, like dragon, ferret, bear, shark, boyfriend. Just like, how many of these fucking things are there? Just like, and there are always more.
I'm laughing because of how accurate that was.
A lot of people having a
A
lack
lot
of
of people
outlets.
like working something out. I mean, I would say in public, but like, let's be real. If you were buried like super deep in Keen Spot, you were doing that shit in private.
Oh yeah.
I think a lot about how like you get like it's very easy to describe someone as working through something with via art, but I feel like a lot of times it's tragically kind of the opposite. You're failing to work through something with
Oh
your art.
yeah, no, that's if that's not like the most honest thing anyone's ever said.
It's
Yeah.
true.
I just you just look at Dominic Deegan, was that it?
Oh god,
Oh,
It's
yeah.
absolutely someone
that
having
guy.
spent multiple decades failing to work through something and
Yeah.
honestly maybe making himself worse over time.
There's a man who discovered that he had that there was something like terribly wrong with his brain, and said, actually, no, I can deny this, and just continued to deny it.
Yeah, he's like, no, this is good to me, actually.
Actually, you are the one with a fucked up brain, years ahead of the curve. Like, he still stands by his, well, you see, there are heroic people in like media all the time who do murders. So what about a heroic person who does a rape?
Jesus.
It's like, okay,
You don't
well,
want
like,
further info.
yeah,
You
no,
don't.
you don't. You really don't.
Just-
You're better off without.
You just know it's there, and you know that
Yeah.
like
There's no escaping
It doesn't make any greater degree of sense from like examining it.
since like god damn it. I'm coming up in my mind completely unbidden is like, to be the master of ceremonies, I do the rape. There's no
Ruin this. I'm sad
I'm
now.
just imagining like an anime protagonist now. Only he's like saying, "I have to. Only I can stop the meteor and save the city. But to do that, I have to have sex with someone who does not want to have sex with me." And like people are lining up, being like, "Yo, I can have sex with you. Like, just get taken care of." No, you have to not want it. I can act like I don't want it. I'll know. It won't be the same.
I hate that you're describing that webcomic.
That's not even a description. I read that shit. I know exactly how it happened in the thing. And my version is better.
Yeah, that's
that
true.
wasn't a
It is.
hypothetical. That was like something that somebody actually created.
Yeah, no,
Put into the world.
we're describing an event that occurred. We are describing an occurrence.
We weren't able to stop as a
Yeah,
society.
we could not. we couldn't. We
You know,
didn't.
you know the thing about that is that like it makes all of the comics that were just so clearly someone just drawing their own fetish material. For just years worth of that shit, it makes those comics seem like just so like innocent. Like there was a guy who did a comic about witches who get magical power from being put in latex bondage. I did this comic for like 7 years.
Talking
Updating.
about, because that's like an actual published comic, I think.
No, it's not. No, this was a web comic.
Okay, I'm thinking of the God, what was it called? Your vagina is haunted.
The Black Rose.
Oh!
Yeah, that's the one.
Jim
Yeah.
Ballant. Yeah, that was Jim. He's a special case. He's one of God's most special children, Jim Ballant.
There can only ever be one Jim Ballant.
There better only be one Jim Ballant. Good Lord.
Yeah, no, the world cannot sustain two Jim Ballants.
But like this guy was out there. He did this comic about these latex bondage witches, and it never pretended to be anything other than what it was. And then by comparison you have you have a Dominic Deegan being like, what if rape was good? And you're like, Dominic, no. It's like, no, we must. We must.
We're asking you nicely here, Dom. We don't ask a lot of you, Dom. This is actually a fair request.
This is going on your record.
And just with the single-minded determination that you get from when you're like eating lunch alone in a place, and someone sees you and knows that for whatever reason, whatever like out of some misguided kindness or like agreeable nature or just an unwillingness to engage in conflict on your lunch break, he can sit down and just completely just hyper focus on one topic. And you will not at no point will you like do what you need to do and just like smash your fast food tray across his face. No, you'll sit there and fucking take it.
You will listen. You will listen well.
Yeah, that's what Dominic Deegan became for a while after that. Just this.
Honestly, the seeds were
the
so
weirdo
far
who sits down at your table at Arby's will not shut up.
The seeds were sown far in advance when he did like an entire like series of strips that was done like with Dominic having a conversation with like one of his old friends. Wow, that old friend was in the middle of a threesome. And this went on for multiple strips of Dominic just sort of like talking into his orb and his threads thrusted away.
And the thing is, it's such an adolescent, like it's such an adolescent
Oh yeah, no, it's
gag about sexuality. Like once you've reached a certain level of just like, I don't know, sex having, let's say,
yeah.
Like the idea of it is like this is not. It's I guess it could be funny, but like the idea itself is not inherently comical.
Yeah.
I just like the idea of becoming like a level 15 sex haver. Like,
leveling up with the sex.
That's my profession. Like,
Was this a class change happen?
yeah, exactly.
Just the moment you're like, okay, I've got to have sex tonight, and your response is, oh. I was going to go to bed early.
At what point do you reach the rank of sexual dynamo?
Sexual Tyrannosaurus.
Sobbing sexual Tyrannosaurus.
Oh god, a sobbing sexual Tyrannosaurus. That's the most depressing thought I've had today.
The only place my brain can go from that line is to the classic Star Fox comic.
Oh no.
What's that one?
Lust Penis.
Yeah.
Oh god, Lust Penis.
One of the greatest things I ever did on Talk Time 2.0 was
Oh, you fucking turned that into one of the command ending.
yeah, I turned that into a command ending. I wrote like a big fake thing about how like in the recent Giga leak they found a earlier version of Star Fox and they rooted around the ROM and hey, what do you know? One of the endings was dummied out.
You became a lust penis.
Just posted those images. Very, very
Tastefully
carefully
edited.
cropped. Very carefully cropped.
Tastefully edited.
I think I
Oh
even
god,
like
lust penis.
downgraded them. I think I even downgraded them a little bit so like I could
Yeah,
reasonably
you
claim,
probably
oh
like
yeah,
lowered the resolution to be more
this is
like
on a this
convincing
is on a
looking, you know.
DS
More
screen.
acceptable.
So,
I feel like this is
Bob,
something I knew about before, but have blocked out of my memory.
that's fine. So, Gago Bob, I'm gonna touch base back with what's happening in the game. Why the fuck is anything happening right now?
Well, right now we have learned that because Poor is going to invade, Lynx and the gang have retreated to what was it? Dragon
Fort
Fort.
Dragonia?
So
Fort
since
Dragonia.
Dragon Fort is our goal, we now have a boat, which means we can theoretically get to Dragon Fort. But
But
I think we might be gonna run into a ghost ship. Although I really like how this boat works when it's in fast forward. Okay. Had to
Oh
get that
man,
out of
these
oh boy,
wave effects,
ghosts!
these wave
Let's
effects
get
are
out of
next
here!
level. Look at this shit.
the
This is like a CD-ROM. This is like a 1995 CD-ROM like menu screen level wave effect. I'm getting ready to go on the Orinoco flow, bitches.
Alright, time to go into the fog.
Hey Bob, before you do
Yes.
that, you go back to was it Dragoon Manor?
I mean, I did unlock
Viper
Pip's
Manor.
cage at least. But I
Yeah.
suppose I could go get Lucia.
You're allowed to just leave this place.
Put in some time recruiting.
Like you can,
If I go
as I
through this,
recall.
it doesn't lock anything off, right?
I'm just saying, as I recall, you're allowed to just leave the ghost ship and come back.
Now, you would think the fact that we have a literal, like, exorcist on the team would impact his belief in the fact that you're getting on a ghost ship. But guess what? No.
Doesn't, won't, don't care.
Also, the wave effect here is ridiculous. It's like somebody just put up a blue screen of a wave.
Oh god. Oh, the way that's moving is not good.
Oh, that's making
I
me
think I'm gonna
physically ill. Oh my god.
Undulating.
That's like moving like a fat guy's back.
God.
On his way to Chili's.
Oh.
Oh man.
Now, Fargo's one that I kind of enjoy his two different versions across universes. Because in one world, he's like a straight up pirate, and in the other world, he just has a casino boat. And in both cases, it's kind of the same thing.
Part of, like when you know when in the he gets better end of his arc, doesn't he become more like the pirate, or am I misremembering things?
He gets better?
Does he is his getting better becoming a pirate?
Kinda, yeah. The one that like has the
casino
riverboat basically eventually decides that he's going to make his boat a boat. It's like it hasn't gone anywhere for years because it's just been a casino boat, but now he's gonna go back to boating. Also, as the song goes, he's on a boat, and he fucked a mermaid, and that's canon.
That is true.
Yes.
I mean, if you're gonna be out, why even be on a boat if you're not gonna fuck a mermaid?
I mean, a valid question. But it is canon that Fargo fucked a mermaid, and there's a mermaid's daughter running around.
Is that
No,
Mercy?
so he's a deadbeat dad. Well, that's less fun.
Well, legitimately, his daughter is super successful.
Well, that doesn't make up for it.
Yeah, like that doesn't mean.
It's like,
That doesn't mean.
abandoning me children.
Yeah. He's like, well, look at how good they turned out without my
Actually,
influence.
both of his kids are really successful.
Wait, who are his kids again? Is it Marcy and
Marcy and the David Bowie wannabe from the last update.
Give me mod powers that I may slay this fucking spam bot.
Nikki, right? Is
Yeah,
it Nikki?
Nikki.
Nikki?
Nikki and Slash in the Japanese.
Oh shit, we got a
Yes, spam bot.
bot. We got a bot.
Give me mod powers that I may slay the spam bot.
It's like there's a fly in the room. It's like somebody do something about it. Oh my god.
I'll fucking kill it.
Well, could kill it.
Also, hello, Pokey's Crypt, if you're still here. That's not the bot, by the way.
Yeah. Blink, streak, speed, back. Sonic the Hedgehog.
I do like that Greco kind of like punches magic at people. That works. Oh god, I haven't had this in fast forward. What was wrong with me?
Yeah, why the fuck are you doing this?
Sorry, I'm still thinking about the deadbeat dad pirate, like managing to fit, like managing to mention how much he loves being a deadbeat dad in every single conversation.
Needs you to know.
Good coffee. You know how good this coffee is. This coffee is as good as not having to raise your own children. So, man, you're being really weird about this. Not as weird as having to raise some fucking kids. Am I right, guys?
Just making not paying attention to your kid's personality.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, come to think of it, it would be kind of hilarious to have an entire pirate ship of deadbeat dads. Like, that is the entire, like,
I think that's most
qualification.
pirate ships if you go back.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure that's a matter of historical record.
Yeah, there's like the one guy on the ship who like became a pirate to like pay for his kid's college education. He's doing like FaceTime every day and shit like that. All the other pirates give him shit about it.
It's, who's the gentleman pilot? Steed. I'm forgetting his last name. Yeah, Steve was maybe Steve. What's his last name? Blackbeard basically just sort of like took over his operation for months on end, and then just sort of like dumped him out, like just like sort of kicked him to the curb after a while. Just gave him his boat back and said, "All right, later, homie." He never had as much success again. Blackbeard turns out had a pretty good skill set when it comes to pirating.
Built for that shit.
It turns out it's not something just anybody can do.
We can't all be Blackbeard.
Edward Tetch?
What?
I was trying to remember the name of Blackbeard.
Oh
William
yeah, Edward Teach.
Edward
Teach, yeah.
I also like the idea that this parrot is just your typical pirate's parrot.
Like you do.
It's a good twist. I do like that this is a game that has very dedicated dragons, but it finds any number of excuses to come up with like weird, like off-brand dragons. Like
Well,
Polygear
it's to
is-
contrast. It's to contrast with this weird, like, I don't know, parrot thing.
Like, calling it a parrot is really, like, an insult to parrots as a concept. Gonna luchador it out of here.
Anyway, guys, I gotta go.
All
You
right.
did
Have a good one.
Hey,
It's a pleasure.
Thanks for hanging out.
Bye bye.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna go too much longer tonight.
Good, because my brain isn't.
I know we've got to beat a deadbeat dad pirate, though.
Sometimes known as Fargo. I used him a lot because he's one of the only people that can steal once Kid leaves the party for long periods of time.
Yes.
Also, he was a pirate.
Would
And
you
he,
want-
like, generally
Look at
has
the
a good
3
base
frames
attack.
of animation of that thing flying. Fuck you.
Jolly ho, up and at 'em.
Up and let's go.
Up and at them.
But I don't know.
Up and at them.
Up and that's him.
I do appreciate when anytime you fight like somebody who will eventually become a party member. Like, it feels appropriate.
A lot of JRPGs for you to appreciate.
Also, he gets to keep his cigar. How nice.
It's a T-rated game. You're allowed to do that.
I mean, Wolverine hasn't had a cigar in years. And he's freaking Wolverine.
You're frickin' Wolverine. I made the choice to commit to that statement without any regard for where it ended.
Blurp. See, I had 99% on a level 3 attack, and now it's 72%. This is very disappointing. I like some of the weirder spells like Carnivore, where it's just like, summon giant piranha plants.
Sure. Why not?
Like, could come in handy. Very useful attack.
Thinking about hamburgers.
Are you hungry?
A little bit.
Could not imagine.
I did not have time to go get food between
That
us
bot's
starting
message,
this.
That bot's message is staying up forever.
Yeah, because you fucking refused to give me the power to kill it.
Me?
Anyway,
Go, Bob.
Like, damn, this is really, shooting the messenger here.
Cogglebob, give me the power to kill it.
I am currently playing a video game, but I have no problem making you like a min at when I am not playing a video game. I am fighting a
You will
pirate.
stop, when the
Very-
second you stop playing a video game, he'll be like, "Oh, time to go." And then leave.
I will. I thank you for calling me on this.
I love that, like, the number one thing bots advertise is the ability to buy followers.
What if the number was bigger? No one will be here, but the number will be more.
Yeah, like, you'll still be screaming into the void, but you can, with, some effort, pretend that you're not screaming into the void as much.
Listen, you could just pay someone to hang out with you. It would be less sad.
I mean, let's just be real. Like, I'm sure a lot of streamers are like, teenagers and 20-somethings who the best they can like hope to succeed at that point in life is like be like, I've got a bunch of followers on Twitch, and like their lives will get better. But right now, not so much.
The attempted logic is also, of course, just that, like, oh, well, if you have more followers, it's easier for the algorithm to recommend you. But
I mean, this is true.
Yeah.
Twitch does try to stop that by, like, in order to get, like, affiliate status and such, you need, like, a certain amount of average concurrent viewers
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that many. It's just a matter of. I remember
Yeah.
looking at the stats, and it's like, just like 8 people or something.
We're just under the cusp. 7.
Damn it.
I could watch from another device.
Oh, there you go. Now we're cooking with gas. Can you do it from a VPN?
Well, I could if I watch from my phone, I can do it via the fucking phone signal instead, and it probably won't piece together the same person.
Hooray! I'm becoming popular. Oh my god, anytime I do a battle and it's not in fast forward mode is just the worst thing.
You're also beating up a skeleton.
I mean, it's a bad skeleton.
Hey.
We're all aware of that, right? There are bad skeletons out there.
I don't think Beat has acquiesced to that accusation.
No, I still refuse to accept it. You guys claim it all the time, but I'm pretty sure you're just lying.
Have you ever
What
played
if a skeleton
Castlevania
tried to
games?
tear my
There's a
head
lot of
off?
bad skeletons in that.
What's your official stance on liches?
Only
Oh, he
good
hates them
wizards,
because
dead
they're
wizards.
wizards.
Well, no, they're dead
Oh.
wizards. So they're alright.
Witches get stitches.
Because the only good wizard is dead wizard. See? Have this built right in. It's easy.
Alright, we're
But
at
they
a
usually just enslave other skeletons.
we are at a save point, and there's an entire ship full of skeletons here, so I think I'm going to take a break here.
I love
Alright.
saving at the big triangle.
It's fate! With all...
It's a big
Can
triangle.
you hear that I'm saying it in all caps? It's fate.
No, because you're not beaten. That's not screaming enough.
Fair enough.
Yeah, your all caps is lacking. I'm not gonna I'm not trying to diss it unnecessarily, but it is lacking.
No, I
are, in fact,
I will not
dissing it necessarily.
disagree with that.
Yeah.
But for
This
now, I
is a-
think
this
Make
I'll
is
me
take a
happen,
break.
you fucking coward.
So good night, everybody.
Good night, all.
Thanks for being one of my 7 average viewers.
Make me an admin, you fucking coward.
We'll get there. I have to remember my own Twitch password.
That seems like a problem.
Have a good night.